Hey, welcome back. Today we're going to be looking at two of the most successful, aggressive players in the world, Light and Kola. As always, we're getting nerdy. We're going to go super in-depth on what these guys are doing and why they're doing it.
So this is what you'll see in most matchups. It's like, let's say this is Leo and Light is running. Leo will like jump back and space like an aerial to contest center with the aerial, and then like use this movement to like bait the opponent in and kind of like play from like this position basically towards the center. But Kola is like, no, this is my center, dude. Let's fight. Let's fight for the center. And Light is like, nah, this is like, I want that center. Let's fight for the center. Light doesn't really like, he feints a lot trying to get towards the center, and Kola feints a lot trying to defend the center, but they very consistently, like, they don't give up too much space.
And as always, the timestamps are down below if you want to check out specific topics. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. It lets me know that you like this type of content, and it lets me know that you want me to put out more. Be sure to hang around till the end to check out the fun fact. And for now, let's get into today's video. It's going to be Light versus Kola at Smash Ultimate Summit 5. Everyone, please enjoy.
Trying to tell me that I can dodge bullets?
Trying to tell you that when you're ready, you won't have to.
So let's look at Kola versus Light. Very interesting, both very aggressive players. I want to see Kola more so than Light in this set. Seer, I love that tag. A seer. Okay. Ooh, I like this. So Light here, look at what he does. He shields and then I think looks for a parry, but mistimes the parry. But he's looking for a parry on the nair from ledge. That is big brain as hell, dude. And also very ballsy. Gets the nair. This is a very familiar situation here that we're going to see more about tomorrow on my Twitter. Not if you watch this VOD, though. If you watch this VOD, it's already been posted. Okay, this is juggle. I love this by Kola. Look at what Kola does here, right? Gets at the center to go to the platform, way safer. Very smart against Fox. Realizes there's a little bit of a drift commitment here by Light. What's Ruben? It's the site we just used to calculate knockback. And then Kola recognized, okay, the drift commitment allows me to sneak back to center, and now gets to play from center. Doesn't win that because Light is very good at contesting it, but love the thought process by Kola. Uh-oh, don't jump to center. Don't jump to the stage. Very consistent punishes by Light. Fucking hate Light sometimes, dude. Fucking hate Light sometimes. He's so rude. Which, to be fair, like, does he really get punished? Does he really get punished? He doesn't. Well, he does there, honestly. But he didn't get punished beforehand. Okay. Ooh, a little bit off on the corner. Honestly, this is one of the things that is super understated about Roy. Roy is really good at getting out of the corner, right? Because like you do this jump in aerial and you're back to center basically, which, you know, Kola is here. He can do nair or fair or up air. They're all viable choices. And that makes it hard for Light to get the most out of what he wants the most, which is corner pressure. You can see the back airs that Light is throwing out are very specifically because of how important corner pressure is to him, right? Like usually Light is way more reactive, but here he's taking a very strong initiative because of how strong the situation is for Fox. Instead, Kola sneaks to center. Very, very smart counterplay. Kola winning the situation without even hitting Light. Kola got a really solid short hop. Yeah, for sure. And then good aerials to accompany the short hop too, right? A lot of characters wouldn't be able to jump out of the corner there, which is why I said it's one of those things that Roy does really well. What I love about this matchup is they both kind of just gravitate to center and then they fight over center. And both these characters are so good at fighting in these situations that there's no clear winner. Like look at how often they fight in the center. I think at the beginning of the match, it's a bit of a corner fight. But again, Roy reversals with the nair here because of the parry. Goes to center. They just fight over the center here. Fight over the center. Okay, corner situation with which Light wins, right? And then again, Kola fights over the center. Fight over the center. Love how consistently these players play towards proper stage positioning. Look at this, fight over the center again. Like, you don't see this often. Oftentimes what you'll see is that players will give up center to bait the opponent in, right? So it's like, this is what you see in most matchups. Hang on, let me get a good shot. Thanks for the follow, JK. So this is what you'll see in most matchups. Is like, let's say this is Leo and Light is running. Leo will like jump back and space like an aerial to contest center with the aerial, and then like use this movement to like bait the opponent in and kind of like play from like this position basically towards the center. But Kola is like, no, this is my center, dude. Let's fight. Let's fight for the center. And Light is like, nah, this is like, I want that center. Let's fight for the center. Light doesn't really, like, he feints a lot trying to get towards the center, and Kola feints a lot trying to defend the center, but they very consistently, like, they don't give up too much space. Right? They're not giving up the space. They're fighting in this like box. It's like an arena, like in the Pokeball. You know what I mean? It's very, very interesting. Very rare at top level. The summon sets are amazing, dude. I really enjoy analyzing them. A lot of interesting dynamics that are not really consistent between the sets either, which shows that the meta is pretty healthy at the moment. If there are like a lot of multiple, like a lot of different strategies that are all viable in their own way. Oh, let me delete the paintings. Yep, so they're fighting over center. We've seen this. Okay. And then the side B from ledge gets punished. Side B from ledge, I see why Kola's going for this, because he did nair from ledge. Yeah, we looked at one Dom set versus Spargo. He did a lot of nair from ledge, so he figured he mixes with the timing, but Light, this is purely player versus player, right? This only happens because Light knows Kola. A lot of aggressive options from ledge. I see why, because like Roy gets to do so, because Roy's aggressive options from ledge are all like super, super amazing. But yeah, you can argue it's a little bit too much. That's true. Like it's good to have the base mix up of like standard ledge options and then unique ledge options. And then within those like two branches, you have like your own mix ups. But if you only mix up within a certain branch, you're going to be like limited. It's kind of like what we talk about in terms of playstyle on this channel, where I say like, okay, so within defense, right? You can play like an active defense and a passive defense, and within that, there's like, you know, there's more mix-ups. Like you can be active with, like movement, and you can be active with your hitboxes, and you can be passive with movement and with hitboxes, et cetera, et cetera. And like within just like this branch, there, like you can be a defensive player and beat a lot of players just within the confines of defense, because there's so much you can do within a single playstyle. But you can also say, well, I'm going to add like the entire branch of aggression. And there's like, you know, like I said, there's, you know, there's active and passive. My writing is going downhill. There's active and passive. And again, you can be, you know, like movement or hitbox heavy, et cetera, et cetera. There's more mix-ups than that, right? And you can beat people within the entire spectrum of aggression. Think about, for example, Riddles. Like Riddles is very much within the spectrum of aggression. But as soon as you add just like the fact that you can mix between these two as a base mix-up, your play gets so much extra depth. And that's exactly kind of what you're looking for. So yes, the same goes for like as above, so below, right? Like if you guys are familiar with that alchemic saying, as above, so below, and then like the Baphomet. You guys know this? Baphomet. As above, so below. Very, very old saying. You know, as above, so below. Which it kind of like in a spiritual sense, it means that the way that you think about the world is how the world manifests. But in the sense of Smash, it's also the truth, right? What happens in the macrocosmos is often represented in the microcosmos. And in this case, like what happens strategically between like, you know, this branch between like, you know, aggression and defense, you can apply that to something like the ledge and say like, okay, there's the unique options and the generic options, and like you can have amazing mix up with just the generic options, right? Just like ledge jump, roll, normal get up, et cetera, et cetera. You can have amazing mix up within just like your unique options. But as soon as you add that dichotomy between the two as well, that level of depth that you're adding to your game is on a whole nother level, something that you cannot find within the confines of just like one set of options. So that's something that you can definitely like, that's definitely like a valid point of critique for Kola. Is it optimal to fight for center in this matchup, or could Kola play more like Leo to bait Light in the center? Is it player dependent? It is a bit of both. I think both these characters can fight for stage control a lot better than most other characters. Roy, because, you know, frame data, Fox, because frame data, they're both fast. They both have, especially Roy has good out of shield as well, whereas Fox has, you know, really good whiff punishes, which Roy doesn't really have because Roy's dash attack is not amazing. So they both have like a really good defensive option that they can turn into offense. Roy in shield, Fox in whiff punishes, so dash back in the sense. They both have good jumps. They both have good ground buttons. So they're both good at just like fighting, right? They don't need movement, but they can both use movement, which makes it good for them to stay like they can stay stationary and fight. Whereas a character like Byleth, because of her frame data and her and just like how her hitboxes work, she needs movement to complement what they're doing. I don't know, the terms offense and defense feel so weird for me in Concept of Smash. The way I look at them is not in terms of like a move is offensive or defensive, but a concept can be offensive or defensive. And the way I look at it, Younes, is I think offense is generally meant to take away control, take away stage, whereas defense is something that aims to defend a bit of stage control. So in that sense, it's less about the moves and more about the intention, because your jab can be aggressive. It can be a dash jab. It can also be defensive. You can jab in place or dash back, turn around jab. So like your offense and defense, in my opinion, are more related to or more contextualized in the concept of stage control rather than like, oh, this is just something that's offensive. That's the way I look at it though. It's more about the movement and the stage control rather than the actions. And through that, it's also more about the intention rather than the attacks. You're the first I ever heard, I've ever called Roy a character that doesn't have great whiff punishing. Yeah, I mean, that's just my opinion. I think he has, for what it's worth, I think he has good whiff punishing, but not on the level of Fox at all. Or like other good whiff punishers, like I think Palutena has good whiff punishing. I think Snake has good whiff punishing. Greninja has good whiff punishing. Fox has good whiff punishing. Mifra has good whiff punishing. Roy's is good, but it's not at that level. That's basically what I mean. Oh, okay. Look at Kola. This is fucking funny, dude. This is funny as hell. Look at Kola's stage positioning. Commits to the platform, realizes he sacrifices center, commits back to center, commits to the platform again, tries to chase down, realizes, fuck, I put myself in the corner. This is not good. Immediately dashes and hovers back to center. This is stage control. Like, I want to say 101 in the sense that it's also is not just being perfect in terms of holding onto your stage, but also using it as a resource to commit harder and then realizing like, oh, I made a mistake. Let me compensate for it. I think this is a really good sequence. I love the way that Kola played this. There's the punish. This is what we talked about before, guys, with the whiff bait punish. Whiffs a jab or whiffs a forward tilt. And instead of shielding, knows, okay, I can jab if he tries to aggress here. Whiffs the jab and knows, okay, I can use a side beat to interrupt him if he tries to do something here. So goes super hard on using whiffs to bait uses whiffs super hard to bait the opponent in and then tries to punish. But Light understands, hey, instead of trying to look for a situation and then immediately reacting, he actually, like, I want to say analyzes, I'm going to say interprets the situation accurately and realizes I don't have time to punish here, so I'm going to use this time to set up a better situation. Jumps, turns the situation into a vertical one, makes it harder for Roy to cover because it's a dimension that Roy was not covering in the first place, right? He was covering horizontally. So by adding that whole dimension, Kola is now focusing on baiting the opponent in a dimension that does not exist. And then Light immediately turns it around and back airs, gets immediate advantage state. Look at that. Jesus. Focus gets the forward tilt too. I want to say, dude, I'm just going to say the same shit because it's so consistent. The level of play is so good. Light makes a mistake here. Overshoots a dash attack. What does Light do? Drift back to center. Defend the center immediately. Kola a little bit slow in getting to center, but also like not sure if Light had time to cover the center still. Dude, yeah, Younglink has range. Younglink has Zair too. Zair, grab, fire arrow, all good range. Dash attack, really good burst range on the dash attack. Dude, Light. Another aggressive option from ledge. We talked about this. Thoughts on Terry? Good character. love the mix-up from Kola. This is a bit of a bait too. If you want to give Kola the benefit of the doubt, this back air is an intentional bait. And then he tries to interrupt. But again, Light does not bite. You whiff something, Light's like, nah, I'm chilling. I just want to say this, guys. And I say this like this is I cannot convey without like this is a very esoteric thing in the sense that like you do not know how fucking hard it is until you've been in this situation to not do something here. The discipline required, the patience, the awareness, the mental agility to not bite on any of these whiffs in the corner at kill percent against Roy with Fox, and then to accurately reversal it every single time. This is a very accurate reverse. I'm actually perplexed. Like that is some insane discipline. Love Light's play in this first game, but he also did this against Gluto. The razor sharp edge on Light's brain when he's reacting to these situations is like, to me, like some of the best I've seen. I think even Leo in this situation might make a lot more mistakes, even though I will be fair, Fox has a lot more options here. So generally has it a little bit easier, but you know, it just goes to show. Yeah, exactly, J-Moto. How he doesn't bite until it's nearly guaranteed, or until a strong situation at the very least is guaranteed. And the patience to do so while still staying actionable is very, very impressive. Okay. Nice mix up by Kola. I just want to highlight. Dashes up. Closer than normal to Nair. This Nair is as close as a Nair gets, right? So by dashing up a little bit extra, feints a possible grab. I think we see Light go for parry here. He's a little bit unfortunate because he's literally one frame off. So you look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's the parry window. 6 gets hit. So the timing mix up here by Kola was like a little bit of the razor's edge, but it was good. I like it by Kola. Immediate answer by Light. Holy shit, Light is so fucking good in this tournament, dude. Ever since Light took a small break, he's been improving so much to me. I feel like a lot of the issues that I had with his play beforehand do not come through at all nowadays. Okay. Fighting for Stenner again. But Light is just winning the fights. What I don't like about what Kola is doing in this game is that it looks like Kola is kind of like doing the same things, but he's trying to do them better. Whereas I feel like Kola should have a bit more of a strategical mix-up in situations like this where like his like brute force game plan and Light's brute force game plans have clashed and Light won. So what should you do when you Kola in this situation? What you should do is you should change the plan, right? Change the initial idea. And I don't like that Kola doesn't have that ready. And I think a bit of that is like player versus player, where you're used to like being able to rely on this against Light. So I think in that sense, like all the benefit of the doubt, not putting this forward as like a huge criticism. I think at the level that Kola is at, he needs to have a plan that counters what Light is doing. Because what Light is doing is what Kola is doing, but better in this situation, right? So if you know what, like if you understand your own plan and you also understand the weaknesses, which means that you should be able to apply a counter strategy against Light doing that. We're all lucky Light approaches because the way he plays the Wiedmeister, yeah, he could do that for everyone, dude. Fox gets to do a lot of that. But the thing is, like, what Light has identified is that Fox's aggression more consistently creates good situations than Fox's defense, which is true. But I do think if he mixes it up more, it would add a bit of a layer to his game plan. But at the same time, by doing the same thing repeatedly, he's also gathering more information in the context of the plan, right? That's something that people don't think about. Is that like, if you mix up a lot, what does that mean? Let's say like first we play rock, paper, scissors, and then next time we play, I don't know, an RPS with like different elements, right? Like pen, paper, fire. I don't know, whatever. The information that you gather in pen, paper, fire, you cannot apply to rock, paper, scissors. and vice versa. So like that is the downside of mixing up your strategy, is that, well, yes, you are less predictable. You're also going to get less relevant information that you can apply universally. Whereas if you play RPS like 100 times, you're going to get a lot of super relevant information on your opponent's habits. Ooh, a bit of a mix-up by Kola. I like this. Look at this. He dashes back again, second dash back. That's the mix-up. And then jumps back in for a whiff punish. And Light, as you can see, Light is jabbing at the end of the first jab, right? Or the first dash, second dash. So Light mixed up by an extra dash back. And this is what we talked about before. This is the center of the stage. They keep fighting for the center. What does Kola do this time? He gives it up to instead punish Light for fighting for center. This is an insanely good adaptation by Kola. I love this. This is exactly what we talked about, coming back in a huge way. Let's see if we're gonna see more of that. Let me turn down the volume a little bit. There you go. Oh, not all the way, please. Okay. Yeah, bit of a... Okay, that's a center stage scramble again. So maybe not a consistent adaptation. I'll be at a shield. I love that. Really missing that in game one. Like the landing fair is all beatable. Didn't see that from Kola. Here you see another situation of like the opponent just like not recognizing situations fast enough to deal with Light. What is this? This is safe. I think Kola missed the parry, to be fair. It looked like he missed the parry. Okay, we're going to forgive that one. I think it looked like he dropped his shield to aggress, but I think he actually just like missed the parry. So Light going for the back air, you can actually see that. That's actually interesting to look at. I wasted points. I didn't think it would actually waste points. Oh boy. Here you go, man. Now you're not alone. Look at this. Look at this. Light's back air is actually a lot like not a lot, but it's a bit higher than it normally is, and that is what caused Kola to miss the parry. Small timing changes, and that's what we talked about before when we looked at the buzz. And I said, hey man, the buzz kind of like has to get juggled harder by Kola because you know the dynamic of like Rosalina's fall, falling aerials and fall speed. And here we see how for Light, the dynamic is a lot more aggressive and flexible in his favor, whereas for the buzz, it would be a lot more committal. If you remember, then you remember. If not, then the VOD's going to get up on YouTube soon, so be sure to watch. Okay, grab. Ooh, the reaction. Yep, insane by Light. It's pretty interesting that Kola even tries to parry. Yeah, I agree. I think it's not wise unless it's like a little bit more reactable, like maybe a late hidden air, you know. Oh my goodness. EE, what the hell? Light advantage state is just absolutely insane. Ooh, okay. Oh my god, he's just freestyling now. More aggression from Kola from ledge. Yeah, this is Hail Mary, you know. Kola no longer sacrificing center stage to punish, instead just kind of like giving it up. You can see how he's playing more risky, taking a lot of risks the entire time, just kind of looking for something to stick. Little mix up. I'm just gonna highlight this. Light holding down here to deny the trump. Nice little mix up. Very, very subtle. Light just free stalking everyone in this tournament is actually insane. Let's look at the final challenge and then we're going to call it a night.
Hope you all enjoyed that video. I think it's super interesting to see how these players play aggressively, even if the meta traditionally asks for a bit more defense than what these players are showing. Of course, Proto himself, who won the event, also a very aggressive player, and that's who we will be looking at next week when we'll be analyzing the grand finals, Light versus Proto. So be sure to subscribe if you're interested in that. Be sure to drop a comment if you enjoyed this video. And for today's fun fact, did you know that Min Min can cancel her arms into her ubby. So when she uses an arm off stage, she actually doesn't have any lag if she cancels it into a tether. Very thematically relevant tip, since next week we will be looking at Proto, who does play Min Min. I hope this helps you when you're playing against the Min Min, or if you're a Min Min enthusiast. Anyway, everyone, thank you so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Be sure to drop any of the algorithmic stuff, and I'll see you guys next time for another video. Guys, stay smart.